Submission. A nation is like a hierarchy, a marketplace, and a maiden. A maiden wins her husband by submitting to his advances. Submission is a means of union. So when a large country submits to a small country, it will adopt the small country. When a small country submits to a large country, it will be adopted by the large country. The one submits and adopts. The other submits and is adopted. It is in the interest of a large country to unite and gain service, and in the interest of a small country to unite and gain patronage. If both would serve their interests, both must submit. Sin. The way is the fate of men, the treasure of the saint, and the refuge of the sinner. Fine words are often borrowed, and great deeds are often appropriated. Therefore, when a man falls, do not abandon him, and when a man gains power, do not honor him. Only remain impartial and show him the way. Why should someone appreciate the way? The ancients said, by it, those who seek may easily find, and those who regret may easily absolve. So it is the most precious gift. Difficulty. Practice no action. Attend to do nothing. Taste the flavorless. Magnify the small. Multiply the few. Return love for hate. Deal with the difficult while it is yet easy. Deal with the great while it is yet small. The difficult develops naturally from the easy, and the great from the small. So the sage, by dealing with the small, achieves the great. Who finds it easy to promise finds it hard to be trusted. Who takes things lightly finds things difficult. The sage recognizes difficulty and so has none. Care at the beginning. What lies still is easy to grasp. What lies far off is easy to anticipate. What is brittle is easy to shatter. What is small is easy to disperse. Yet a tree broader than a man can embrace is born of a tiny shoot. A dam greater than a river can overflow starts with a clod of earth. A journey of 1,000 miles begins at the spot under one's feet. Therefore deal with things before they happen. Create order before there is confusion. Care at the end. He who acts spoils. He who grasps loses. People often fail on the verge of success. Take care at the end as at the beginning, so that you may avoid failure. The sage desires no desire, values no value, learns no learning, and returns to the places that people have forgotten. He would help all people to become natural, but then he would not be natural. Subtlety. The ancients did not seek to rule people with knowledge, but to help them become natural. It is difficult for knowledgeable people to become natural, so to use law to control a nation weakens the nation. But to use nature to control a nation strengthens the nation. Understanding these two paths is understanding subtlety. Subtlety runs deep, ranges wide, resolves confusion and preserves peace. Lead by following. The river carves out the valley by flowing beneath it. Thereby the river is the master of the valley. In order to master people, one must speak as their servant. In order to lead people, one must follow them. So when the sage rises above the people, they do not feel oppressed. And when the sage stands before the people, they do not feel hindered. So the popularity of the sage does not fail. He does not contend, and no one contends against him. Unimportance. All the world says, I am important. I am separate from all the world. I am important because I am separate. Were I the same, I could never be important. Yet here are 3 treasures that I cherish and commend to you. The first is compassion, by which one finds courage. The second is restraint, by which one finds strength. And the third is unimportance, by which one finds influence. Those who are fearless but without compassion, powerful but without restraint, or influential yet important, cannot endure. Compassion. Compassion is the finest weapon and best defense. If you would establish harmony, compassion must surround you like a fortress. Therefore, a good soldier does not inspire fear. A good fighter does not display aggression. A good conqueror does not engage in battle. A good leader does not exercise authority. This is the value of unimportance. This is how to win the cooperation of others. This to how to build the same harmony that is in nature. Ambush. There is a saying among soldiers, it is easier to lose a yard than take an inch. In this manner one may deploy troops without marshalling them, bring weapons to bear without exposing them, engage the foe without invading them, and exhaust their strength without fighting them. There is no worse disaster than misunderstanding your enemy. To do so endangers all of my treasures. So when two well-matched forces oppose each other, the general who maintains compassion will win. Individuality. My words are easy to understand, and my actions are easy to perform, yet no other can understand or perform them. My words have meaning, my actions have reason, yet these cannot be known and I cannot be known. We are each unique and therefore valuable. Though the sage wears coarse clothes, his heart is jade. Limitation. Who recognizes his limitations is healthy. Who ignores his limitations is sick. The sage recognizes this sickness as a limitation, and so becomes immune. Revolution. When people have nothing more to lose, then revolution will result. Do not take away their lands, and do not destroy their livelihoods. If your burden is not heavy, then they will not shirk it. The sage maintains himself but exacts no tribute, values himself but requires no honors. He ignores abstraction and accepts substance. Fate. Who is brave and bold will perish. Who is brave and subtle will benefit. The subtle profit where the bold perish. For fate does not honor daring, and even the sage dares not tempt fate. Fate does not attack, yet all things are conquered by it. It does not ask, yet all things answer to it. It does not call, yet all things meet it. It does not plan, yet all things are determined by it. Fate's net is vast and its mesh is coarse, yet none escape it. Execution. If people were not afraid of death, then what would be the use of an executioner? If people were only afraid of death, and you executed everyone who did not obey, no one would dare to disobey you. Then what would be the use of an executioner? People fear death because death is an instrument of fate. When people are killed by execution rather than by fate, this is like carving wood in the place of a carpenter. Those who carve wood in place of a carpenter often injure their hands. Rebellion. When rulers take grain so that they may feast, their people become hungry. When rulers take action to serve their own interests, their people become rebellious. When rulers take lives so that their own lives are maintained, their people no longer fear death. When people act without regard for their own lives, they overcome those who value only their own lives. Flexibility. A newborn is soft and tender, a crone hard and stiff. Plants and animals in life are supple and succulent, in death withered and dry. So softness and tenderness are attributes of life, and hardness and stiffness attributes of death. Just as a sapless tree will split and decay, so an inflexible force will meet defeat. The hard and mighty lie beneath the ground, while the tender and weak dance on the breeze above. Need is the action of nature, not unlike drawing a bow. What is higher is pulled down, and what is lower is raised up. What is taller is shortened, and what is thinner is broadened. Nature's motion decreases those who have more than they need, and increases those who need more than they have. It is not so with man. Man decreases those who need more than they have, and increases those who have more than they need. To give away what you do not need is to follow the way. So the sage gives without expectation, accomplishes without claiming credit, and has no desire for ostentation. Yielding. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet nothing can better overcome the hard and strong, for they can neither control nor do away with it. The soft overcomes the hard, the yielding overcomes the strong. Every person knows this, but no one can practice it. Who attends to the people would control the land and grain. Who attends to the state would control the whole world. Truth is easily hidden by rhetoric. Reconciliation. When conflict is reconciled, some hard feelings remain. This is dangerous. The sage accepts less than is due, and does not blame or punish, for harmony seeks agreement, where justice seeks payment. The ancients said, nature is impartial, therefore it serves those who serve all. Utopia. Let your community be small, with only a few people. Keep tools in abundance, but do not depend upon them. Appreciate your life and be content with your home. Sail boats and ride horses, but don't go too far. Keep weapons and armor, but do not employ them. Let everyone read and write. Eat well and make beautiful things. Live peacefully and delight in your own society. Dwell within cock-crow of your neighbors, but maintain your independence from them. The sage. Honest people use no rhetoric. Rhetoric is not honesty. Enlightened people are not cultured. Culture is not enlightenment. Content people are not rich. Riches are not contentment. So the sage does not serve himself. The more he does for others, the more he is satisfied. The more he gives, the more he receives. Nature flourishes at the expense of no one, so the sage benefits all men and contends with none.